What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre reviews and reviews, back in here with one more video. Alright guys, you see the title, trigger alert. Let's get active. Why I will never marry a blue collar worker. How to attract rich men. This video comes from YouTuber Michaela Pink. I am not familiar with her. I'm not familiar with her background. I know that this title will cause a lot of stir in the community. So a couple of quick things before we get in there, before we get active. Number one, these videos are for research and for entertainment purposes only. This is not meant for you to find a YouTuber and harass and berate them in their comment section. Do not do that. Second thing, she makes it very clear in this video that this is her definition of what a blue collar worker is and why she will not marry them. So we're going to go over that. But I want to make that clear is that she went over in the beginning and this is her definition. She was abundantly clear in saying that. All right. But this one, I feel like we're going to learn a lot about and from as well. So without further ado.
Well, when I say blue collar, I'm using that term as an umbrella in terms of everybody who is a non-entrepreneur. That's how I'm using it. If you may have, there are lots of blue collar workers who are entrepreneurs. I get that. What I'm speaking about is the mentality of the man, okay? So let's keep that first and foremost in our minds. When I'm speaking of blue collar, I'm speaking in terms of men and women who are of the blue collar mindset, okay? So
when she said that, real quick, she said, when she says blue collars, she means those that are not entrepreneurs, which is super confusing because when I think of blue collar, I think of hourly workers that have a physical labor job, right? Machinists, mechanics, truckers, something where it's labor involved or intensive. The opposite side of that might be like a white collar job, typically paid via salary, so there's no overtime generally. And they have more indoor activities. They wear suits, ties, button up, blazers, what have you. There's others as well. There's other designations between all of the collars. There's a pink collar or a gold collar. We're not going to get into all of that stuff. But her definition of blue collar is apparently anyone who's not an entrepreneur, which is not correct, but let's move on.
Blue collar could be call center because we don't do things that are manual labor that much now. We don't have people working on chain gangs, and we don't have people who are working on the railroad and in the coal mines and stuff. I guess we do. Let me take that back. We do in some of our cities in the United States. We do have people who still do jobs like that, but these are very few and far between. So now the definition is a little different. A blue collar worker on the Michaela Pink channel, take a look at that name down there below. On the Michaela Pink channel is a man or a woman who works as a worker. Okay. That was just my general blanket, whatever. And there is a reason why I say I will never, ever marry a man who is of this persuasion. And first of all, when you have a man who is a blue collar worker, these men work very, very hard for their jobs. They are subject to the boss, the man. They have to get permission to take breaks. They can't go to parent-teacher conferences and stuff. They can't be available for things that involve life and living because they are so busy working. They work very hard for their money. And back in 1924, let Pastor adjust, back in 1924, this was something that was praised, and everybody was in awe of the men who were working so hard to get their money. And when you're with a blue collar worker, you have to drink out of stuff like this.
All right, I'm stricken with confusion and stricken with a bit of grief. Not going to lie to you. Why? She describes a blue collar worker, but really she just means a worker, which is crazy because essentially she's saying anybody with a boss, anybody that has a boss is not for her. She hasn't really gotten into the why yet, but some reason she's targeting blue collar. So when she starts to talk about that they're busy, they have things to do, right? Like that's everybody, right? Like that can be no matter what your position is. You could be a busy person, but an entrepreneur. You could be a busy person that's blue collar. You could be a busy person that's white collar. And I'm sure there's perhaps data to speak about who's the most busiest. If I was just to take a guess, I would say the most busiest is entrepreneur, right? But it depends on the life cycle of their business. What stage of the business that they are in? Are they in the growth stage? Because some of them bastards working 20 hours a day, wake up and do it all over again for years. All right, until they get to that maturity stage, then they can start hiring workers to do some of the activities that they were doing previously, and they can get their time back when they start to get cash flow positive. Okay, as opposed to a blue collar worker. Now, generally, blue collar workers have set times that they work, and anything beyond that is overtime, where they can get like time and a half. The thing with blue collar work is even during your set time, because it's physical, it's manual labor, you probably need more rest time than, like, let's say a white collar worker, which generally has set times, but it's salary work. We'll get into that. It's generally set times, but you're not engaging in physical labor. So after a hard day of work, you're probably going to have more energy to do parent-teacher conferences or whatever it is that she was talking about. But from a white collar work perspective, they can be super busy as well too, because they're paid on a salary. I've talked about this on the channel. Salary is also made for you guys to be complacent in your life, because it's in the air of 40 hours per week, but there could be some time after that you are required to work, just in case you have some email. I know, like me, for example, I have email on my phone that's connected to my work. So I'm looking at emails at 7 o'clock at night sometimes, okay, which is technically working. So I just thought it was an interesting way that she summarized all that, and I don't agree with her at all, which helps me understand that she probably has no idea what she's talking about when she talks. I mean, she said call center jobs is a blue collar work. No, it's not manual. It's not physical labor. But I think what she was trying to say there is that the term and the definition, at least on her channel, is shifting, because there's not people on the railroads and whatever. But let's just keep going on. I had to break that down real quick for anybody that was just confused as what I am. But let's move on.
Vibing. Anybody ready for this vibe I got going on? Blue collar workers are their mentality is very poor. And when I say poor, I mean poor as in not going to ever be wealthy. People with a blue collar mentality will not ever be wealthy. They don't understand prosperity. They don't understand abundance. They don't understand,
So what she's saying is that they have a broke mindset or mentality. They'll never be wealthy. Look at some of these comments on the side of young ladies down in there coaching other young ladies. Less than 100K equals blue collar. Are you serious? I know so many blue collar people that make over $100,000 a year. It takes time to get there, right? Once they get out their apprenticeships and they start working and earning certifications and whatever the steps is in their particular field. But there's a lot that make over $100,000 a year. If I had time to look up the data, I would absolutely do that. Maybe I'll do that on another stream. But there's a lot that can command over $100,000 a year, which is typically at about $50 or so per hour or more, working at a 40-hour work week. Sheesh. It's sheesh. All right. That's why I got to do videos like this, because it reminds me. Sometimes, guys, I get in my own microcosm of my own reality, and then I begin to think that everyone understands the things that I know. But once I take a gander out there and seeing these other platforms and what people are saying and the education that's being talked about and discussed, it just reminds me the importance of having a home base of knowledge that at least tries to represent Earth as truthful as what I can. Let's move on.
Going to Chuck E. Cheese and spending $500. You spent $500 at Chuck E. Cheese?
That's a lot of money for Chuck E. Cheese.
I spent $500 at Chuck E. Cheese. Sure did. Sure did. They don't understand that there is more than enough of everything for everyone. That's why I opened with the disclaimer that everything is not for everybody.
They don't understand that there's more than enough for everybody. But you have to make that money, ma'am. Tell that to homeless people. There's more than enough for everybody as you sleep on the sidewalk. What? This is going to be a tough one.
I date and will marry only men who are wealthy. Period. When I say wealthy, I'm speaking about liquid assets.
You got a ring on.
If this person, this man, does not have assets that are attainable to him, and he can reach them and touch them, that are in the very high end of the spectrum, I am not going to entertain him.
Okay.
I'm not. I feel, because, and here's the reason why.
Don't lower your standards, mama. You
I was married for a time, and I have three children. Somebody say three.
Three?
One time for the brow, Pastor. Come on with the brow. Anyway, I have three children. That means that I have three different buckets. Since we like to talk about buckets, I have three different individual entities, people, individuals, persons, children to see after and make sure that they are okay. If I don't do that, then my legacy will not continue. So I have three children to take care of. The fact that I have three children means that I need a whole lot of money. I need a lot of money. I need money all the time. I need money for any and everything. I need money for football helmets and uniforms and space at the practice thing we're gonna go to because it's too cold to practice outside. And I need money for, prom and this, and I need money for everything. I need money for everything. Everything. Since I need money for everything, I need somebody who has money for everything.
Okay. We got a lot of information right there. I'm going to pause it right there. Okay. So what I'm gaining from this is that this is a hypergamy focused channel. I guess sort of similar to like a Shira 7, I suppose. Again, I don't know much information about her. So it seems like it's a hypergamy focused channel. She has 3 kids. Here's the dissonance, okay? Because we have to talk about the dissonance. And the thing is that she's got a healthy subscriber base, and this video itself has 31,000 views. Here's the dissonance. I can talk about all day what I want, what I think I deserve, but do I qualify? Do I qualify? That's a very important question if you're teaching people how to increase their standards, you have to do it with a tone of reality. Now, I don't know her background. I don't know her story. Let's say that she had kids, 3 kids with one person. Don't even say that they got married or anything like that. Let's say she had 3 kids. Do I then believe that she took herself and her 3 kids and found a high value man to marry her? I do not believe that. I do not believe that. I could be wrong because I haven't done due diligence, but I do not believe that. Okay? Here's the thing. I think as you guys are looking across the internet for information to consume, you have to ask yourself, why should I believe this person? And what are the receipts? What are they showing me of the actions that they put into place to prove that they qualified for what they're talking about? I think that it's key. You have actors across the internet that will convince you and have convinced you to buy into their ideology, and they haven't shown not one receipt. Shit, you got some that will not show their face, which is mind-boggling to me. If you're selling products and services and you just have a faceless voice that's just talking to you, and that's now your best friend on the internet that you buy products and services from with no receipts. Now, listen, I do understand that there's a ton of different audiences out there. Some on the scale that just want emotions fed to them that make them feel good about themselves, consume the content for entertainment purposes. But there's some in that equation that are actually looking for knowledge, truth, and how to pursue a walk of life forward. Okay? A dude that's of considerable wealth and value. His pick of the litter. Ladies, listen up. His pick of the litter will not be a woman with 3 other mouths to feed. The majority of high value dudes attained high value understanding the basic principle of revenue minus cost equals profit. Irrespective of the amount of revenue that he's bringing in, if there's a large cost at that bottom line, then your profit is trash. Notwithstanding that these wealthy dudes have the pick of the litter. So then again, I ask, how do you qualify yourself to be fit in reality to these dudes that have pick of the litter? All right? They might be with you for an evening, entertain you, take you out for a little bit, have fun with you. But marry? I'd love to see some receipts because, like I said before, I could be wrong. Let's see if there's anything else that we can gain from this valuable conversation.
Duh. I need money for everything. If you are a woman and you have a child, a blue collar worker should not be your goal. Yes, and I need money for myself. Exactly. So I'm coming with 4 different people for this man to take care of. Why would I go?
And I need money for myself. Oh God, is this life? Is this real? Is this real? Not only does the pre-made family need food and shoes for soccer practice and after-school programs, but she's not bringing anything to the table. Wow. Okay. It's for entertainment purposes only.
To a man that works at Verizon and expect him to take care of me and my 3 children. Why would I do that? And then be upset with him for not being able to do it? Why would I go to a man who works at Auto Center or AutoZone or whatever? Why would I do that? Why would I go to a man who works at the plant struggling to survive and expect him to take on me and my 3 children? That doesn't make good sense.
Because that may be only what you qualify for. If you don't base people in reality, they will live out their life extremely unhappy, extremely discontent, and angry that no one told them the truth earlier. Base yourselves in reality, folks. Base yourselves in reality. That has been my video. That has been my reaction. We didn't even go over a lot of the video. I want to say it's like 5 minutes. There's a whole bunch else in there. I don't know yet if I'm going to leave a link in the description down here for this video. If I do, though, like I told you guys, do not go anywhere and send any hate at all. We are respectful over here. We are critical thinkers over here. We are cerebral. But these conversations help tell a story. And I love the opportunity to grab portions, meaningful portions to a degree, to some people, meaningful information across the internet and dissect in a place where we can deliberate to push the culture forward in a positive, valuable way. All right? Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. I got a Patreon as well. My Patreon is building. We got some grinders up there. You understand what I'm saying? Until next time, YouTube.